members of Congress,
Is that Gavin?
the First Lady of the United States,
Why are they giving a standing ovation at that?
I don't know.
and my fellow Americans. We meet tonight at a moment of unlimited potential.
Portnova plays in this way.
As we begin a new Congress, I stand here ready to work with you
He's buffering for me.
to achieve historic
Watch the stream.
breakthroughs
The stream
for
works
all
fine.
Americans. Millions of our fellow citizens are watching us now gathered in this great chamber, hoping that we will govern not as two parties, but as one nation.
Yeah. We have Nick Sink in the chat as well. Don't forget that.
The agenda I will lay out this evening is not a Republican agenda.
It's not a Republican
or a
agenda.
Democrat agenda.
Or a Democrat agenda.
It's the agenda of the American people.
Agenda of the American people.
Many of us have campaigned on
Are you
the
streaming on
same
Alibi?
core promises to defend American jobs and demand fair trade for American workers, to rebuild and revitalize our nation's infrastructure, to reduce the price of health care and prescription drugs, to create an immigration system that is safe, lawful, modern, and secure, and to pursue a foreign policy that puts America's interest first.
Hell yeah.
There is a new opportunity in American politics if only we have the courage together to seize it.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm into it. Did you guys write any details yet?
They didn't.
Victory is not winning for our party. Victory is winning for our country.
Oh, you know what I should do? I should add a link to the rewatching. Oh.
This year, America will recognize two
You know, this is
important
probably going to be like really boring.
anniversaries that
I am
show us
not.
the
I'm trying
majesty
to actually
of
listen.
America's mission and the power of American pride. In June, we mark 75 years since the start of what General Dwight D. Eisenhower called the Great Crusade, the Allied liberation of Europe in World War II.
Okay.
I'd like
On
to.
D-Day, June 6, 1944, 15,000 young American men jumped from the sky and 60,000 more stormed in from the sea to save our civilization from tyranny. Here with us tonight are three of those incredible heroes. Private First Class Joseph Riley, Staff Sergeant Irving Locker, and Sergeant Herman Zaitchik. Please.
Okay.
They're pretty cool.
The one on the left does not look like he wants to be here.
He kind of just like not
He looks like
happy.
he shouldn't
even
be there.
He doesn't even
Yeah.
know that he's there.
Yeah.
Be there.
Kyle, remember, anything you say can in fact be in the class tomorrow. Because I will tell him we are streaming.
He's probably gonna go and watch this.
I'm gonna tell him in person tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, hey, Mr. O'Malley, we streamed.
Yeah, so Mr. O'Malley, if you're watching this right now,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, thank you for your support.
Gentlemen, we salute you. In 2019, we also celebrate 50 years since brave young pilots flew 250,000 miles through space to plant the American flag on the face of the moon. Half a century later, we are joined by one of the Apollo 11 astronauts who planted that flag, Buzz Aldrin.
Oh, Buzz is there. I'm writing Buzz down.
Buzz is there. I thought Buzz didn't really like him.
I mean, even if I didn't like him, even I don't really like him, but like,
He
I'd
looks
be
really
there.
uncomfortable right now.
Is that what Buzz Aldrin looks like today?
Yeah.
Maybe that.
He's not. I don't think he's happy to be there.
He's not in his prime, but I mean, he's not that bad looking.
He's past his prime.
Thank you, Buzz. This year, American astronauts will go back to space with American
Thank you,
rockets.
Buzz.
Did Billy just say? Oh man.
Good
American rockets.
Wait, Billy said something?
Yeah, check the chat. I'm not saying it aloud.
I don't see anything right now.
Wait.
In the 20th
just
century,
ignore it.
America saved freedom, transformed
Kyle
science, redefined the middle class, and when you get down to it, there's nothing anywhere in the world that can compete with America.
Kyle, shut up with your typing, please.
I was joking.
Please. Trying to pay attention.
I typed it loud on purpose. Is that Ted Cruz in the audience right there?
I think so.
Now we
It
must
looks like
step
him. He's grew a
boldly
beard
and
though.
It looks like
bravely
he's
into
balding.
the next chapter
If I
of
was
this
looking at the same
great
guy.
American adventure. And we must create a new
Billy, I have,
standard
like,
of
3
living
places that
for
my
the
mic can be on my desk.
21st century. An amazing quality of life
Good stuff.
for all
Would
of
you
our
rather this, Billy?
citizens
Is this better for you?
is within reach. We can make our community safer, our family stronger, our culture richer,
You watching?
Yeah,
our
we have
faith
we have
deeper,
5
our
viewers
middle
right now.
Five concurrent
class
viewers.
bigger
But why?
and more
Yeah.
prosperous than ever
Shut up,
before.
Nikki, please. I enjoy
sorry.
this. I'm enjoying
Billy-
this.
Billy says yes, so this is how my voice is gonna sound from now on.
It's very up close
You
and
don't
personal.
trust Billy?
Yep.
Look at that lady not standing up in like the side there, in the blue.
She's having fun though.
But we must reject
Maybe she just
the politics
is
of
a little too old to
revenge,
stand.
resistance, and retribution,
Yes, Sink, I see you.
and
I
embrace
see you, Sink.
the boundless potential of cooperation, compromise, and the common
Yeah,
good.
watching it with us. You see that?
What'd you see?
The way that she was clapping.
Together, we can break decades of political stalemate. We can bridge old divisions, heal old wounds, build new coalitions,
Can I have
forge
tags?
new solutions, and unlock the extraordinary promise of America's future. The decision is ours to make. We must choose between greatness or gridlock, results or resistance, vision or vengeance, incredible progress or pointless destruction. Tonight, I ask you
We have 7
to
viewers.
choose greatness.
That was a call out right there.
That was, honestly. Can I find a transcript of this?
I mean, not yet. He hasn't given it yet, but actually maybe
yeah,
because they hand them out, right?
Yeah.
So maybe.
Over the last 2 years, my administration has moved with
looking
urgency
it up.
7 viewers.
and historic speed to confront
Now don't
problems
spoil
neglected
yourself.
by leaders of both parties over many decades. In just over 2 years since the election,
I did
we
find
have
it.
launched an
think.
unprecedented economic boom, a boom that has rarely been seen before. There's
Boom.
been nothing like it.
That's what
We
I
have
wrote down.
created 5.3 million new jobs and importantly added
There's been nothing like the
600,000 new
boom.
manufacturing jobs something which almost everyone said was impossible to do. But the fact is, we are just getting started.
I'm just writing some notes down to get started doing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, like, see, if you look at my notes on the screen, you could see.
Yeah.
Wages are rising at the fastest pace in decades and growing for blue-collar workers who I promised to fight for. They're growing faster than anyone else thought possible. Nearly 5 million Americans have been lifted off food stamps. The U.S. economy is growing almost twice as fast today as when I took office. And we are considered far and away the hottest economy anywhere in the world. Not even close.
Oh. Wait, did you say hottest economy?
Unemployment.
Yes, he did. He
has
said
reached
far and away, not even
the
close.
lowest rate in over half
Ah,
a
that's
century.
bad spelling. Thanks, all correct. Yeah. African American, Hispanic American,
What was
and
that?
Asian American unemployment have all reached their lowest levels ever recorded.
Gavin, be careful. You're on stream right now.
Like, actually, though.
Yeah, like actually, we have a whole.
Say something for the camera.
No, don't say
Unemployment
that to the
for
camera. No.
Americans
Say
with
something.
disabilities has also reached an all-time low.
Anyone.
Sync and
I
Billy.
mean,
and
it
then-
could be rewatched later. Don't forget this.
Yeah.
I came in and I was like, hey guys, I'm sick.
More people
Alright.
Because he
are
kept
working
on calling
now
me sick when I joined
than
you
at
before.
any time
Oh, yeah.
in the history of our country. 157 million people at work.
157?
At work right now.
We passed a massive tax cut for working families and doubled
post
the
the
child
thing in the
tax credit.
Tax cut.
Double child tax
Tax
credit.
cut for kids.
We virtually ended
My
the
stream.
estate tax,
Alabama.
or death tax, as it is often called, on small businesses, for ranches, and also for family farms.
Do you guys still have 3 first now? Yeah, I guess still
What?
But I will play.
You talk about.
I don't know.
You talk about the
We
one
eliminated the very unpopular Obama
Shut up.
Oh,
mandate
game,
penalty.
Apex Legends.
they eliminated Obamacare, but when for some reason the volume bar got messed up there, so it completely
And to
muted it.
give critically
Yeah.
ill patients
Eliminated.
access to life-saving
I
cures.
can't find Alibi.
We passed, very importantly, right
I'll
to
link it.
try.
Here you go, Gavin.
See, there's no live
My
chat for this one.
administration
Oh.
has cut more regulations in a short period of time than any other administration during its entire tenure.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Wait, really? That doesn't sound.
Well, write
Right.
it down if you don't believe it, because we have to
Okay,
fact
hold on.
check it.
Companies
Yeah,
are coming back to our country.
Eliminate. What was
in
it?
large
I don't know.
numbers,
I
thanks to
haven't
our
run the stream, so I
historic
can't
reductions
Eliminated
in taxes
more
and
regulations in 2 years than any
Just say it out loud.
other.
And we have unleashed a revolution in American energy. The United States is now the #1 producer of oil and natural gas anywhere in the world.
You're looking at one. You're listening to one.
You say you're looking at one, but you're only on voice chat.
Yeah, that's why I said you're listening to one. Why are they all white?
They're all wearing white. You mean? They're all wearing white. They are not all
And
white.
now,
No, they
for the
are
first
all white.
time
Yeah, they are
Actually,
all
no.
white.
Those
65
Asians
years,
there.
The one
we
guy.
are a net exporter of energy.
Net exporter of energy. Alright, so I got a couple things there.
After 24 months of rapid progress, our economy is the
All the
envy
generals
of the
laughing.
world. Our military is the most powerful on earth by far.
That's a fact.
And America,
I think so.
Actually, no, Russia.
How is Russia? I mean,
Pretty sure Russia's.
Yeah, Russia's military is like crazy.
that might be true, but
Pretty sure we're first.
I mean, there's only
guess.
only one way to find out, right? We gotta pit them against each other.
is
Americans
again
are just
winning
wearing white. Holy
each
crap.
and
Russians are
every
just like
day.
crazy.
Why are all those people wearing white?
I don't know.
Members of Congress,
See what they think.
the state of our
Oh.
union is strong.
I'm gonna raise the text for that to 24.
This is just him saying like vague things and
Yeah.
everyone clapping for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, USA, China.
I'm watching it.
This is like a high school basketball game or something.
Yeah. I'm doing a good job. But
sounds
yeah,
so good.
USA.
Yeah.
Our country is vibrant.
Good.
That
He
point,
Our
likes
economy is
the USA
thriving
chant.
like never before. On Friday, it was announced that we added another 304,000 jobs
an
last
economic
month
miracle.
alone,
Have you got to that yet?
almost double the number expected.
Wait, did you see 304,000 jobs?
Yes.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought he said 304 jobs. I was like, that's not a lot.
We raised 304 jobs.
And then you say the last 3 months.
An economic
Yeah, in the
miracle is
last 3
taking
months.
place in the United States, and the only thing that can stop it are foolish wars, politics, or ridiculous partisan investigations.
That's interesting.
That he thinks that the investigations are ridiculous.
Yes.
Wait, he said so things that can stop it are ridiculous wars.
Wars,
There is going
politics.
to be
Foolish-
peace and
foolish wars or
legislation.
something.
Yeah.
And
There
useless.
cannot be war and investigation. It just doesn't
He's just
work
trying
that
to
way.
get suspicion off of himself. The only person who would say something like that is
We
someone who's
must
guilty. He's
Be
guilty.
united at
that
home
Get
is
him out of there.
that is a
to
complaint.
defeat our adversaries
You're guilty,
abroad.
Kyle.
This new era
Oh no, you found me out.
cooperation can start with finally
Sorry.
confirming the more than
I read to the
300
presidency, I'm
highly
sorry.
qualified nominees who are still stuck in the Senate, in some cases years and years waiting.
Is he saying that
Not right.
we need to limit the Senate? Is that what I'm hearing?
Is it? I think he's saying that the Democrats have control of the Senate. No, they
he
have
saying-
control of the House.
Did he just saying he wants to put term limits on it?
I'm not sure what he said.
Kind of, because I heard that a lot recently.
I think he wants to get rid of the
The
Senate.
Senate has
overall.
failed to act on these nominations, which is unfair to the nominees
Oh, there's people who are
and very
nominating.
unfair to our country.
People who are nominated and they aren't going
Now
through.
is the time for bipartisan action. Believe it or not, we have already proven that that's possible. In the last Congress, both parties came together to pass unprecedented legislation to
Everyone
confront
stands up, right?
the opioid crisis, a sweeping new farm bill, historic
the opioid crisis
VA
right now?
reforms,
You're like way ahead of
and
us.
after 4 decades
No, I'm
of
with
rejection,
it.
we
I'm with
passed
it.
Really? Then I'm
VA
behind.
accountability
I'm watching ABC.
I'll
so
refresh.
that we can finally
I'm watching the
terminate
White House one.
those who mistreat our wonderful
Those
veterans.
who mistreat
Yeah, wonderful veterans. Yeah.
our wonderful veterans. Yeah. All right, cool.
That's way behind me. Really cool. Now I'm on prison reform.
I refreshed. I don't know why. What are you watching this on, Gavin?
ABC News.
And just weeks
Okay, I'm
ago,
watching it on YouTube.
both parties united
No, I'm watching on YouTube.
for
but on ABC
groundbreaking
News, like,
criminal
their channel.
justice
Is it from the White House channel?
reform. They said it couldn't be done.
Oh, okay.
ABC News channel.
Criminal justice reform.
Nice.
I'm down for that one. That's something I figured you would commit.
Last year,
As long as it's
I
making
heard
it,
through
like,
friends
Fair.
the story of
Yeah.
Alice
Oh,
Johnson.
Oh, I remember hearing this. The drug.
I was deeply moved.
the non-violent drug
Jones?
charge. No,
In
no, it's that lady.
1997,
Got arrested for the cocaine.
Alice was
Across
Oh, yeah,
sentenced
her.
to life
Okay,
in
you want-
prison as a first-time non-violent drug
I
offender.
remember seeing something about that where it's like
Over the
actually.
next
Training under training.
22
I saw that in the research for my
It
English
was-
paper.
Yeah, but
she
it's, I feel
became
like I remember
a
seeing
prison
something like-
minister,
It was a lot
inspiring
of drugs.
others
It was
to
like a
choose
ton
a
of
better
drugs,
path.
I'm pretty
Not a
sure it was
small
only a
amount.
little bit.
She had a
I-
big
I
impact
didn't look into it
on
well
that
enough,
prison
but
population.
I think I saw something that was like a ton
And
of
far
It
drugs.
wasn't like
beyond.
Trump would be lying or anything. Who
Alice's
does
story
that?
underscores
Shots
the
fired.
disparities and unfairness
I'm
that can
challenging
exist
Donald Trump right now to a duel.
in criminal sentencing
I bet you would.
and the need to remedy this total injustice.
For speed.
He got her
She
out.
served almost that 22 years
Almost.
and had expected to be in prison for the remainder of her life.
And then he got him out because
In
Kim Kardashian.
June, I commuted Alice's sentence. When I saw Alice's
Oh, you
beautiful
did.
family greet her at the prison gates, hugging and kissing and crying and laughing, I knew I did something right. Alice is with us tonight, and she is
Oh, she's there?
terrific woman.
That's sick.
Terrific.
There she
Alice,
is.
please.
Yeah. I wonder how like she gets like reformed after this. Like, what's her job now?
Donald Trump loves Alice's beautiful family, loving and kissing.
But like, she got out of prison after 22 years. Like, she needed money to begin with. What's she do now?
Perhaps she might work at like, I don't know, Starbucks.
Maybe. I wonder if he gave her a job or something.
Alice, thank you
Yeah.
for reminding
Nancy in
us
the
that we
background,
always have the
sitting
power
down.
to shape
Maybe
our
she got a
own
government job. Oh, wait.
destiny. Thank you
Are
very
those
much,
salt and
Alice.
pepper
Thank you
shakers
very
in
much.
front of Nancy Pelosi?
They look like they're filled with like water.
Yeah.
Inspired by stories like Alice's,
That's weird.
my administration
Maybe
worked
she doesn't like
closely
something he says. She
with
just pours
members
water
of
on
both
him.
parties to sign the First Step Act.
Yeah, I
into
don't know
law.
about that, Kyle.
Big deal.
That was a little stupid, Kyle. That was a little stupid.
I'm sorry. I thought you guys would enjoy it.
I didn't think I would enjoy it.
This legislation
I'll try to
reformed
refrain from that
sentencing
in the
laws
future.
that have wrongly and disproportionately harmed the African American community. The First Step Act gives nonviolent offenders the chance to re-enter society as productive, law-abiding citizens. Now, states across the country are following our lead. America is a nation that believes in redemption. We are also joined tonight by Matthew Charles
Matthew Charles.
from Tennessee.
Who's
In 1996,
We're about to learn.
at the age of 30, Matthew was sentenced to 35 years for selling drugs and related offenses.
What's
Over the
related
next
offenses?
2 decades,
He said
He
he said
completed
selling
more than
drugs,
30
and the guy
Bible
next to him was like,
studies,
"Whoa!"
became
And
a
he looked at
law
him.
clerk and mentored
Wait, what happened? What did he
many
do?
of his fellow
Trump
inmates.
said he was arrested
Now
for
Matthew
selling
is the
drugs, and then
very
the
first person
white
to
guy
be
sitting
released
next to him looked at him. He was
from
like
prison
scared of him
under
for a
the
second.
First Step Act.
Yeah, saved from the First Step Act. All right.
Nice.
Matthew, please.
You see when he's clapping, the guy next to him was like backing away from him.
He's like, hey. He's like,
Probably give him more room.
Nah, he's afraid.
Where's Joshua Trump?
Yeah, where's Joshua Trump, the kid who was getting made fun of for his name?
That sounds like kind of a stupid story.
Yeah.
Like,
And so,
I mean,
because he was
it
getting
sucks-
made fun
I mean,
of,
it sucks that
Trump
he was
personally
getting
brought him to the White
bullied.
House.
Welcome home.
I mean, I'd rather like Mr. O'Malley personally go to the White House instead.
Yeah, exactly.
He would enjoy it more, I feel.
And tonight we
Now,
have with us
Republicans
Trip
and
O'Malley.
Democrats must join forces again to confront an urgent national crisis.
Coyotes.
Congress has 10 days left to pass a bill that will fund our government, protect our homeland, and secure our very dangerous southern border. Now is the time for Congress to show the world that America is committed to ending illegal immigration
I'm just like
and
pooping all
putting
my stuff
the
right now.
ruthless coyotes, cartels, drug dealers, and
Coyotes,
human
yeah.
Does he
traffickers
mean like the animal coyote? Or
out
like, is it like
of
a gang or something?
business.
Coyote Peterson.
I think he means.
He wants to put the coyotes out of business?
This has gotta be like a gang or something. That's a little weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I mean, there's no way you're doing. No way the wall's gonna stop the coyotes. Those things could jump like 30 feet tall.
Yeah. Yeah, they can jump.
Straight up.
Yeah. They have an air dash.
As we speak, large, organized caravans are on the march to the United States.
Are they?
We have just heard
It's at an
that
all-time
Mexican
low right now.
cities, in order to remove the illegal immigrants from their communities, are getting trucks and buses to bring them up to our country in areas where there is little border protection. I have ordered another 3,750 troops to our southern border
3,750?
to prepare for this tremendous onslaught. This is a moral issue. The lawless state of our southern border is a threat to the safety, security, and financial well-being of all America. We have a moral duty to create an immigration system that protects the lives and jobs of our citizens. This includes our obligation to the millions of immigrants living here today who followed the rules and respected our laws. Legal immigrants enrich our nation and strengthen our society in countless ways.
Dad, are you playing Apex Legends right now?
Well, I'll play.
Oh, Bert's
Yeah,
in the
I
chat.
play too. Oh, Bert's here?
Michael Burke has joined the chat.
I want people to come into our country
There's a
in the largest numbers ever,
ambulance outside my house.
but they have to come in legally.
He wants. I spelled that wrong, but I don't care. Yes, I do. I spelled that wrong too, and I feel bad because I know how to
Tonight,
spell
I am
that.
asking you to defend
What'd you spell wrong?
our very
Legally.
dangerous
Spelled two
southern
Gs for some
border
reason.
out of
Legally.
love and devotion to our fellow citizens and to our country. No issue
I'll get on
better
Apex Legends.
illustrates the divide between America's working class and America's political class than illegal immigration. Wealthy politicians and donors push for
on
open
Apex
borders
Legends, we still got
while
like an hour
living
left.
their lives behind walls and gates and guards.
Yeah, but...
Wait,
Oh, when did he fix his tie?
Alright. Yeah, he did fix his tie. Alright.
Meanwhile, working class Americans are left to pay the price for mass illegal immigration. Reduced jobs, lower wages, overburdened schools,
Mickey, are you in a game yet?
hospitals that are so crowded you can't get in, increased crime, and a depleted social safety net.
Wait for me, I'm coming.
Tolerance for illegal
I could have
immigration
played on the stream.
is not compassionate. It is actually very cruel.
Yeah, I'm going to this bit.
1 in 3 women is sexually assaulted on the long journey north.
I wanna go play with
back.
them.
Smugglers
I'm sorry.
use migrant children
change legally.
as human pawns
No?
to exploit our laws and gain access to our country. Human traffickers and sex traffickers take advantage of the wide open areas between our ports of entry to smuggle thousands of young girls and women into the United States and to sell them into prostitution and modern-day slavery. Tens of thousands of innocent Americans are killed by lethal drugs that cross our border and flood into our cities, including meth, heroin,
Doesn't meth
cocaine,
not come
and
from the border,
fentanyl.
though? Doesn't fentanyl come
The
from,
savage
like, China?
gang MS-13 now operates in at least 20 different American states, and they almost all come through our southern border. Just yesterday, an MS-13 gang member was taken into custody for a fatal shooting on a subway platform in New York City. We are removing these gang members by the thousands, but until we secure our border, they're going to keep streaming right back in. Year after year, countless Americans are murdered by criminal, illegal aliens. I've gotten to know many wonderful angel moms and dads and families. No one should ever have to suffer the horrible heartache that they have had to endure. Here tonight is Deborah Bissell. Just 3 weeks ago, Deborah's parents, Gerald and Sharon, were burglarized and shot to death in their Reno, Nevada home by an illegal alien. They were in their 80s and are survived by 4 children, 11 grandchildren, and 20 great-grandchildren. Also here tonight are Gerald and Sharon's granddaughter, Heather, and great-granddaughter, Madison. To Deborah, Heather, Madison, please stand. Few can understand your pain. Thank you, and thank you for being here. Thank you very much. I will never forget, and I will fight for the memory of Gerald and Sharon, that it should never happen again. Not one more American life should be lost because our nation failed to control its very dangerous border. In the last 2 years, our brave ICE officers made 266,000 arrests.
Oh, no.
Of criminal aliens, including those charged or convicted of nearly 100,000 assaults, 30,000 sex crimes, and 4,000 killings or murders. We are joined tonight by one of those law enforcement heroes, ICE Special Agent Elvin Hernandez. When Elvin...
Oh, Kyle. Kyle. Oh, is he in the chat?
Thank you. When Elvin was a boy, he and his family legally immigrated to the United States from the Dominican Republic. At the age of 8, Elvin told his dad he wanted to become a special agent. Today, he leads investigations into the scourge of international sex trafficking. Elvin says that if I can make sure these young girls get their justice, I've really done my job. Thanks to his work and that of his incredible colleagues, more than 300 women and girls have been rescued from the horror of this terrible situation. And more than 1,500 sadistic traffickers have been put behind bars. Thank you, Alvin. We will always support the brave men and women of law enforcement. And I pledge to you tonight that I will never abolish our heroes from ICE. Thank you. My administration has sent to Congress a common-sense proposal to end the crisis on the southern border. It includes humanitarian assistance, more law enforcement, drug detection at our ports, closing loopholes that enable child smuggling, and plans for a new physical barrier or wall to secure the vast areas between our ports of entry. In the past, most of the people in this room voted for a wall, but the proper wall never got built. I will get it built. This is a smart, strategic, see-through steel barrier, not just a simple concrete wall. It will be deployed in the areas identified by the border agents as having the greatest need, and these agents will tell you where walls go up, illegal crossings go way, way down. San Diego used to have the most illegal border crossings in our country. In response, a strong security wall was put in place. This powerful barrier almost completely ended illegal crossings. The border city of El Paso, Texas, used to have extremely high rates of violent crime, one of the highest in the entire country, and considered one of our nation's most dangerous cities. Now, immediately upon its building, with a powerful barrier in place, El Paso is one of the safest cities in our country. Simply put, walls work and walls save lives. So let's work together, compromise, and reach a deal that will truly make America safe. As we work to defend our people's safety, we must also ensure our economic resurgence continues at a rapid pace. No one has benefited more from our thriving economy than women, who have filled 58% of the newly created jobs last year. You weren't supposed to do that. Thank you very much.
I'm good.
Thank you very much.
Getting along a little bit.
All Americans can be proud that we have more women in the workforce than ever before. Don't sit yet. You're going to like this. And exactly 1 century after Congress passed the constitutional amendment giving women the right to vote, we also have more women serving in Congress than at any time before. That's great. Really great. And congratulations. That's great. As part of our commitment to improving opportunity for women everywhere, this Thursday, we are launching the first ever government-wide initiative focused on economic empowerment for women in developing countries. To build on, thank you. To build on our incredible economic success, one priority is paramount: reversing decades of calamitous trade policies. So bad. We are now making it clear to China that after years of targeting our industries and stealing our intellectual property, the theft of American jobs and wealth has come to an end. Therefore, we recently imposed tariffs on $250 billion of Chinese goods, and now our Treasury is receiving billions and billions of dollars. But I don't blame China for taking advantage of us. I blame our leaders and representatives for allowing this travesty to happen. I have great respect for President Xi, and we are now working on a new trade deal with China. But it must include real structural change to end unfair trade practices, reduce our chronic trade deficit, and protect American jobs. Another historic trade blunder was the catastrophe known as NAFTA. I have met the men and women of Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, New Hampshire, and many other states whose dreams were shattered by the signing of NAFTA. For years, politicians promised them they would renegotiate for a better deal, but no one ever tried until now. Our new U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement, the USMCA, will replace NAFTA and deliver for American workers like they haven't had delivered to for a long time. I hope you can pass the USMCA into law so that we can bring back our manufacturing jobs in even greater numbers, expand American agriculture, protect intellectual property, and ensure that more cars are proudly stamped with our 4 beautiful words, made in the USA. Tonight, I am also asking you to pass the United States Reciprocal Trade Act so that if another country places an unfair tariff on an American product, we can charge them the exact same tariff on the exact same product that they sell to us. Both parties should be able to unite for a great rebuilding of America's crumbling infrastructure. I know that Congress is eager to pass an infrastructure bill, and I am eager to work with you on legislation to deliver new and important infrastructure investment, including investments in the cutting-edge industries of the future. This is not an option. This is a necessity. The next major priority for me and for all of us should be to lower the cost of health care and prescription drugs, and to protect patients with pre-existing conditions. Already as a result of my administration's efforts in 2018, drug prices experienced their single largest decline in 46 years. But we must do more. It's unacceptable that Americans pay vastly more than people in other countries for the exact same drugs, often made in the exact same place. This is wrong, this is unfair, and together we will stop it, and we'll stop it fast. I am asking Congress to pass legislation that finally takes on the problem of global freeloading and delivers fairness and price transparency for American patients, finally. We should also require drug companies, insurance companies, and hospitals to disclose real prices to foster competition and bring costs way down. No force in history has done more to advance the human condition than American freedom. In recent years, we have made remarkable progress in the fight against HIV and AIDS. Scientific breakthroughs have brought a once distant dream within reach. My budget will ask Democrats and Republicans to make the needed commitment to eliminate the HIV epidemic in the United States within 10 years. We have made incredible strides, incredible. Together, we will defeat AIDS in America and beyond. Tonight, I am also asking you to join me in another fight that all Americans can get behind, the fight against childhood cancer. Joining Melania in the gallery this evening is a very brave 10-year-old girl, Grace Eline. Every birthday, hi, Grace. Every birthday since she was 4, Grace asked her friends to donate to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. She did not know that one day she might be a patient herself. That's what happened. Last year, Grace was diagnosed with brain cancer. Immediately, she began radiation treatment. At the same time, she rallied her community and raised more than $40,000 for the fight against cancer. When Grace completed treatment last fall, her doctors and nurses cheered. They loved her. They still love her. With tears in their eyes, as she hung up a poster that read, "Last day of chemo." Thank you very much, Grace. You are a great inspiration to everyone in this room. Thank you very much. Many childhood cancers have not seen new therapies in decades. My budget will ask Congress for $500 million over the next 10 years to fund this critical life-saving research. To help support working parents, the time has come to pass school choice for Americans' children. I am also proud to be the first president to include in my budget a plan for nationwide paid family leave so that every new parent has the chance to bond with their newborn child. There could be no greater contrast to the beautiful image of a mother holding her infant child than the chilling displays our nation saw in recent days. Lawmakers in New York cheered with delight upon the passage of legislation that would allow a baby to
How's
be
the weather
ripped
looking like
from the
over here?
mother's womb moments from birth.
Really? I'm
These are
I'm
living,
getting
feeling,
off,
beautiful
like,
babies
voice chat in general,
who will
but
never get the
right now-
chance
right
to
now
share
she's
their
talking
love
about,
and their dreams with the
abortion.
world.
talking about abortion.
And then
I
we
haven't
had
heard
the
anything about
case
education.
of the governor of Virginia, where he stated he would execute a baby after birth.
Yeah, he's talking about
Defend the
definitely
dignity
talking about
of every
the
person.
governor
I am
of
asking
which
Congress to
state?
pass
Virginia.
legislation
The governor of
to
Virginia will
prohibit
execute a baby
the
after birth.
late-term abortion of
That's what we're
children
gonna get.
who
Oh, he's
can feel
eliminating-
pain in the mother's womb.
He wants the mother's wombs to feel pain? What is he talking about?
He's eliminating late-term abortion.
Abortion? Wait, he is?
Yeah, he wants to.
Like, that's a... Okay. That's very... That's dumb. It's
Late-term?
dumb.
He's not eliminating abortion.
Yeah, but...
Let us work
I'm
together
not
to
saying
build
I
a
think you're
culture
Her body,
that
her
cherishes
choice.
This is a
innocent
live
life.
thing. I will not say
Yeah.
my personal views.
Yeah, you know, my personal views shouldn't matter. Doesn't... Nobody cares what my personal views are.
I mean, people hate their bodies.
Yeah. Right.
You missed out.
Alright,
You
well,
missed out. Guess what? He said human instead of human.
Human. Human.
It's funny. And he also wants to get rid of HIV and AIDS in the next 10 years.
And let us reaffirm a
Well,
fundamental truth.
On my
All
side,
children,
we got third
born
on Apex.
and unborn,
Wow.
are made
It was pretty
in the
good.
holy image of God.
And then we
The
all
final
died.
part
One person.
of my agenda
So
is to protect
I'll see you tomorrow. I'm gone.
American security.
Protect American security.
Over
not
the last
law.
2 years, we have begun to fully rebuild
All right.
So,
the United
Bye.
States military with $700 billion last year and $716 billion this year. We are also getting other nations to pay their fair share. Finally, for years, the United States was being treated very unfairly by friends of ours, members of NATO. But now we have secured, over the last couple of years, more than $100 billion of increase in defense spending from our NATO allies. They said it couldn't be done.
interesting. Said it cannot be done.
As part of our military buildup, the United States is developing a state-of-the-art missile defense system. Under my administration, we will never apologize for advancing America's interests. For example, decades ago, the United States entered into a treaty with Russia in which we agreed to limit and reduce our missile capability. While we followed the agreement and the rules to the letter, Russia repeatedly violated its terms. It's been going on for many years. That is why I announced that the United States is officially withdrawing from the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, or INF Treaty. Perhaps we really have no choice. Perhaps we can negotiate a different agreement, adding China and others. Or perhaps we can't, in which case we will outspend and out-innovate all others by far. As part of a bold new diplomacy, we continue our historic push for peace on the Korean Peninsula. Our hostages have come home. Nuclear testing has stopped, and there has not been a missile launch in more than 15 months. If I had not been elected President of the United States, we would right now, in my opinion, be in a major war with North Korea. Much work remains to be done, but my relationship with Kim Jong-un is a good one. Chairman Kim and I will meet again on February 27th and 28th in Vietnam. Two weeks ago, the United States officially recognized the legitimate government of Venezuela and its new president, Juan Guaido. We stand with the Venezuelan people in their noble quest for freedom, and we condemn the brutality of the Maduro regime, whose socialist policies have turned that nation from being the wealthiest in South America into a state of abject poverty and despair. Here in the United States, we are alarmed by the new calls to adopt socialism in our country. America was founded on liberty and independence, and not government coercion, domination, and control. We are born free, and we will stay free. Tonight, we renew our resolve that America will never be a socialist country. One of the most complex set of challenges we face, and have for many years, is in the Middle East. Our approach is based on principled realism, not discredited theories that have failed for decades to yield progress. For this reason, my administration recognized the true capital of Israel and proudly opened the American Embassy in Jerusalem. Our brave troops have now been fighting in the Middle East for almost 19 years. In Afghanistan and Iraq, nearly 7,000 American heroes have given their lives. More than 52,000 Americans have been badly wounded. We have spent more than $7 trillion in fighting wars in the Middle East. As a candidate for president, I loudly pledged a new approach. Great nations do not fight endless wars. When I took office, ISIS controlled more than 20,000 square miles in Iraq and Syria just 2 years ago. Today, we have liberated virtually all of the territory from the grip of these bloodthirsty monsters. Now, as we work with our allies to destroy the remnants of ISIS, it is time to give our brave warriors in Syria a warm welcome home. I have also accelerated our negotiations to reach, if possible, a political settlement in Afghanistan. The opposing side
I'm still working.
is also very happy to be negotiating.
Anyone watching?
Maybe.
Our troops have fought with unmatched valor, and thanks to their bravery,
Me and are you
we
watching?
are now able to
No.
pursue
Someone else.
a possible political solution
This dog squad.
to this long
I don't know.
and bloody conflict.
Wait, I'm gonna play some haste.
I have some good information we missed out on.
Hey, what?
You'll have to watch the stream to get back to it and hear my
Hey,
Oh, do you see Dan
In
Crenshaw?
Afghanistan, my
Dan
administration
Crenshaw has like a wooden
is holding
eye patch on
constructive
today. It's
talks
pretty
with a number of Afghan groups,
we'll have fun.
including
cool. What?
the Taliban.
Is that fun?
As we make progress in these negotiations, we will be able to reduce our troops' presence and focus on counterterrorism, and we will indeed focus on counterterrorism. We do not know whether we'll achieve an agreement, but we do know that after 2 decades of war, the hour has come to at least try for peace, and the other side would like to do the same thing. It's time.
Sorry.
Above all, friend and foe alike must never doubt this nation's power and will to defend our people. 18 years ago, violent terrorists attacked the USS Cole, and last month, American forces killed one of the leaders of that attack. We are honored to be joined tonight by Tom Wibberley, whose son, Navy seaman Craig Wibberley, was one of the 17 sailors we tragically lost. Tom, we vow to always remember the heroes of the USS Cole. Thank you, Tom. My administration has acted decisively to confront the world's leading state sponsor of terror, the radical regime in Iran. It is a radical regime. They do bad, bad things. To ensure this corrupt dictatorship never acquires nuclear weapons, I withdrew the United States from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. And last fall, we put in place the toughest sanctions ever imposed by us on a country. We will not avert our eyes from a regime that chants death to America and threatens genocide against the Jewish people. We must never ignore the vile poison of anti-Semitism or those who spread its venomous creed. With one voice, we must confront this hatred anywhere and everywhere it occurs. Just months ago, 11 Jewish Americans were viciously murdered in an anti-Semitic attack on the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. SWAT officer Timothy Matson raced into the gunfire and was shot 7 times chasing down the killer, and he was very successful. Timothy has just had his 12th surgery, and he's going in for many more. But he made the trip to be here with us tonight. Officer Matson, please. Thank you. We are forever grateful. Thank you very much. Tonight, we are also joined by Pittsburgh survivor, Judah Samet. He arrived at the synagogue as the massacre began. But not only did Judah narrowly escape death last fall, more than 7 decades ago, he narrowly survived the Nazi concentration camps. Today is Judah's 81st birthday. Great. They wouldn't do that for me, Judah. Judah says he can still remember the exact moment nearly 75 years ago, after 10 months in a concentration camp, when he and his family were put on a train and told they were going to another camp. Suddenly, the train screeched to a very strong halt. A soldier appeared. Judah's family braced for the absolute worst. Then his father cried out with joy, "It's the Americans! It's the Americans!" Thank you. A second Holocaust survivor who is here tonight, Joshua Kaufman, was a prisoner at Dachau. He remembers watching through a hole in the wall of a cattle car as American soldiers rolled in with tanks. To me, Joshua recalls, the American soldiers were proof that God exists, and they came down from the sky. They came down from heaven. I began this evening by honoring 3 soldiers who fought on D-Day in the Second World War. One of them was Herman Zaitchik. But there is more to Herman's story. A year after he stormed the beaches of Normandy, Herman was one of the American soldiers who helped liberate Dachau. He was one of the Americans who helped rescue Joshua from that hell on earth. Almost 75 years later, Herman and Joshua are both together in the gallery tonight, seated side by side, here in the home of American freedom. Herman and Joshua, your presence this evening is very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you. When American soldiers set out beneath the dark skies over the English Channel in the early hours of D-Day, 1944, they were just young men of 18 and 19, hurtling on fragile landing craft toward the most momentous battle in the history of war. Yeah. They did not know if they would survive the hour. They did not know if they would grow old, but they knew that America had to prevail. Their cause was this nation and generations yet unborn. Why did they do it? They did it for America. They did it for us. Everything that has come since our triumph over communism, our giant leaps of science and discovery, our unrivaled progress towards equality and justice, all of it is possible thanks to the blood and tears and courage and vision of the Americans who came before. Think of this Capitol. Think of this very chamber where lawmakers before you voted to end slavery, to build the railroads and the highways, and defeat fascism, to secure civil rights, and to face down evil empires. Here tonight, we have legislators from across this magnificent republic. You have come from the rocky shores of Maine and the volcanic peaks of Hawaii, from the snowy woods of Wisconsin and the red deserts of Arizona, from the green farms of Kentucky and the golden beaches of California. Together, we represent the most extraordinary nation in all of history. What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? I ask the men and women of this Congress, look at the opportunities before us. Our most thrilling achievements are still ahead. Our most exciting journeys still await. Our biggest victories are still to come. We have not yet begun to dream. We must choose whether we are defined by our differences or whether we dare to transcend them. We must choose whether we squander our great inheritance or whether we proudly declare that we are Americans. We do the incredible. We defy the impossible. We conquer the unknown. This is the time to reignite the American imagination. This is the time to search for the tallest summit and set our sights on the brightest star. This is the time to rekindle the bonds of love and loyalty and memory that link us together as citizens, as neighbors, as patriots. This is our future, our fate, and our choice to make. I am asking you to choose greatness. No matter the trials we face, no matter the challenges to come, we must go forward together. We must keep America first in our hearts. We must keep freedom alive in our souls. And we must always keep faith in America's destiny. That one nation, under God, must be the hope and the promise and the light and the glory among all the nations of the world. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Is that it? Just clear out now? Well, that's it. That's State of the Union.